desk to get their take on TSM's first win here.
Thank you, gentlemen. A very solid win there for TSM. They're going to be happy coming out of the gate with that victory. I think first things first, though, we got to look at the fact that Azir is still undefeated between these two players here, and quite obviously a very strong pick still might be contested for the entire series.
I think might be contested.
Will be contested.
I think it will be contested
for the entire series.
Contested or banned, he's definitely going to show up somewhere in Champions League for both sides. But it just adds so much power. And you saw there, even though there's a late game scaling comp on the other side, you have so much siege, you have a lot of disengage, you have ways to play out fights, and you also have ways to stop fights from even happening in the first place. So this is a very strong champion. Even though people are saying he's gotten nerfed, his level 1 is better, right, by about like 12% attack speed, maybe even a little bit more. But also, his late game's better too. When you hit max rank, it's more attack speed from the W.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, it's weird because like his mid-game burst is lower because you're not ranking E anymore. His mid-game teamfight DPS is obviously up because you're maxing W. So
you don't have the knockup, but honestly, the knockup wasn't a huge part of it. It was gratuitous.
It's actually even screwed people up before. You've knocked him up through your ulti. So honestly, I don't want to get bogged down in Azir too much. He's obviously still very good, and hey, Bjergsen's good at the champion. Yeah, I would have liked to see that more heavily prioritized by Team Liquid. Very clearly, TSM were holding that one back and saying, yeah, we don't care about this champion anymore, playing different strats in the quarterfinal. Smart of TSM. I don't think Gravity were in shape, really. So, you know, the long con was good for TSM. I actually do have a bone to pick with TSM's comp, though, in that I don't think it was going to be very good if they weren't ahead. Jinx is weaker than Kog'Maw in equal gold until 4 items. Just at no point is she ever the stronger champion. Okay, your ult's cool, but like just in a general teamfight case, that's kind of situation. Gnar also is routinely going to be able to do a lot more than Maokai through a lot of the game, and TSM have no reliable engage that's not a home guard TP. If you watch like the first 4 teamfights of this game, they were all Team Liquid being at an objective, and the TSM showing up saying, well, now you can't run away because there's a Baron hitting you, so they get to capitalize. And that to me was actually, it looked like a big failing of Team Liquid, where they weren't playing out the comp very well. They had a big advantage in Gnar, and they could have abused that much more. I wanted to see Dom just set up a tent for Quas and crush that matchup.
And I feel like Turtle picking up some of those early kills with Rockets, the one with Quas, the Baron one as well, were actually really crucial to him getting ahead because he was at a deficit in CS.
50.
And then, it was a lot of CS at that point. But, oh, man. I forgot what it was.
You lost it.
Darn,
no worries.
Darn.
I will help.
TSM picking up gold.
That's what it was. That's what it was. The proactivity, though.
Love it.
Love it. Because what they're doing is, even though they have kind of a reactionary composition that has counter-engage, TSM are still being active on the map. They're showing up. They're rotating the turrets first. If they're prepping the objectives, so they know when Baron's up, they know when Dragon's up. There was that one where Baron, that was actually a big flub by them when the Baron was up and they didn't have it warded, but they did have the lucky play there. So I like that they're being proactive. It is a different style from TSM, that they're actually the ones playing the majority of the game on the other side of the map from the team, instead of waiting for them to come to them. So I really like that.
Now, given that we're going to see these two teams obviously play again in a best-of-5 series, I want to look at the fact that Team Liquid established such early CS leads in both the top lane and the AD carry position. We had very quickly a 40 CS lead in the top lane and a 50 CS lead, as you mentioned, between Piglet and Wild Turtle. So this is what put TSM behind to begin with. Granted, they did play proactively even from behind, which was good to see. It's a side of TSM we haven't seen before. But when looking at future games to come, how does TSM avoid getting this far down to begin with?
I think they had a losing matchup, and also TL had a really good start, right? The way that Dom was camping on Dyrus, the way that they gave him a long lane, and then they started playing that out. I feel like the CS advantage just manifested from these winning lanes, but the pushing of it, I think, was the bad part there for Team Liquid. But TSM, in terms of not getting behind, Santorin, you know, he's playing the Echo. It's good in team fights. But the early pressure of that champion, I want to see him use it more and enter more lanes more frequently in the early game. He had some good uptime and good pressure, but that's how they avoid those types of deficits, is Santorin pressure.
That's what's tricky is TSM, I think in the early game, is still very risk-averse. They're proactive in team-wide moves, but Santorin's not the guy to go for a gank where if Elise is there, he loses, right? Elise vastly outfights Echo, right? You can't be in a 2-on-2 and win. And when you know, Kog'Maw's going to be better at fighting than Jinx, and Gnar's going to be better at fighting than Maokai in the first 12 levels. Right. Okay, your 2-on-1s are okay without any hard CC, really. Okay, there's setups, right? But yeah, you know, Santorin's style is pretty risk-averse, and honestly, like a single kill gank is probably not worth the risk of getting 2-0'd for that. So I think you kind of have to let that happen based on the matchups, I feel like, in general. So it's hard to want more from him. But if you get good wards, you see at least in the side, absolutely, then go for it. And I think I would have liked to see more if those situations arose.
We'll have some time to talk a bit more about what we want to see in the next game after the break. We do have to take that quick break, but when we return, it's back into the action with Game 2 between TSM and Team Liquid. Don't go anywhere.
Wait, is it actually comfortable?
Yeah, you want to try and sit in it? I'm not even joking.
I'm jealous,
it's comfortable. I'm serious. Just come and sit in my chair.
No! That sounds so wrong. It sounds so wrong.
Was a little too far in. Team Solo Mid's going to be able to pin him into the pin. He jumps over the rocket.
I'm backing out. Nice. No flash, no flash. Nice. Nice. Big do bear.
Oh my God! You've got to be kidding me. No way. Turtle's done it on Dragon. Now he does it onto Baron. Bjergsen comes in. There's the shuffle. There's the triple. Could that be the quadra? Game 1 of the quarterfinals goes to Team Solo Mid over Team Liquid.